Hi, so greetings everyone. My name is Natapong Wokingun and I am from Group 3 of BUS375. And let's get to the point. Now, within our objective of the research is that once we have scoped the limitation down into the university student well-being, we want to identify and examine what are some of the factors that influence the well-being of this university student. And then we do the causal study to dig down what are the root of the cause that actually shapes the well-being to be either in positive or negative dimension. And like take for example the policy statement of the university, academic work, the friend, environment, families, and some financial aspect as well. And within the next aspect, the research design and method. Our research has been designed to do within the qualitative design, to be specific, the telephone in-depth interview. And all interviewees are aimed to be Thai local people. And all interviewees were asked a series of questions, from general question down into the in-depth question, as in laddering technique. And the time persistence of the interviews took not more than 45 minutes. And I want to bring you to the screening question of our research. The screening question is that the age of the respondent has to be within 19 to 24, else terminate. And the study condition. The respondent have to study for a bachelor degree, else terminate. And the income, as in some of them have to pay the utility bill, a rent bill. The income may be from families, works of less than 3,000 to 6,500, 6,500 to 10,000. These are all possible answers, else we terminate. And the respondent have to study within Bangkok, else terminate. So let's move on into the 5 aspects of this research. So move on into the 5 aspects of our research. The first aspect is the university student lifestyle, as in the attitude and behaviors. So the first question asks the respondent to describe their lifestyle, and majorities of the respondent actually describe their lifestyle to be a relaxed lifestyle, that they don't want to be in conflict with others. They just want to concentrate with the study, and that they can get rid of all negative factors, that they can remain concentration with their study and academic work. So we then dig down how these lifestyle actually influence them to be either in positive or negative well-being. So majorities of the respondents reveal that they have a positive reinforcement from this lifestyle, that they can actually focus on the study. They can have a better grade, they can do better academic work. They don't want to care or concern about the negative factors. And some of them mention that these lifestyle actually have no relation, minimal relation with other in the society as well. As I mentioned in the research, that this lifestyle has low covariance, referring that these lifestyle of the respondents have minimal relation with other in the society. So we then asked the respondent as a university student regarding their faculties, in order to know whether their lifestyle have been shift related with the faculties. And majorities of the respondent reveal that their lifestyle actually shifts toward what they have learned. Take for example, some of the respondent is a medicine student, and now she actually be more cautious about her life. She actually care about what she eat, is it safe? And some other respondents is a chef student, and right now he loves food even more, that he's so curious about how to make the recipe good, and he want to improve his cooking skill well, comparing from way back then actually. So it's kind of be like a positive reinforcement on that. Next, we ask them regarding an average hour of study per day, and majorities of the student of the respondent review that they have studied around 6 hours per day, and they review that this made them exhaust, but this is not a negative factors influencing their well-being. However, it's quite neutral to be exhausted from study. So they kind of like encourage themselves to do better next time as well. Next, then we ask the interviewees whether they have been through stress or not. And actually all of them have been through stress. As a university student, you might have to face like difficulty in academic works, presentation, major change in life. So we then asked whether these respondents have a solution to cope with the stress. And actually all of them have the mutual coping strategy with this stress. The keyword is that to take a break and make it better next time, because it's quite reasonable that as a university student we can't change external factors that much, so we have to take a break and make it better next time. It's kind of like a positive reinforcement as well. Okay, so move on into the second aspect of this research, which is the university student routine. The first questions within this aspect, we ask them to describe their routine. And the second question, we dig down to that, whether this routine have the effect to influence their well-being in a physical aspect or in the emotional aspect. Some of the respondents review that this routine, as in some of them have to wake up early in the morning and study an average of 6 hours per day as mentioned, and even they have to work after study, that they encounter with physical effect like headache, backache, and some of them encounter with emotional effect like tiredness, loneliness. That to clarify with the loneliness, some of them have to focus on study so much that they have no time to meet with their friend or family. So next, within the routine aspect, we ask them whether they have a good time management skill or not. And majorities of them review that they have a great time management skill, but some of them actually have a lack within this field, that they want to improve themselves because they encounter problems in life from the lack of time management skill. A person with a great time management skill can deal with academic work well, but some of them who have the lack in time management skill cannot handle this deadline. So it is quite a problem in their lives as a university student, and that affects the well-being to be negative. We then ask them whether they satisfied with their time management skill, and majorities of them, as mentioned, they are satisfied with their time management skill, that they can actually handle the academic work, they can handle the deadline well. But some of them who are lack with the time management skill cannot handle the academic work well and cannot handle the deadline well. It is quite unsatisfied for them, so that influence them to be in a negative well-being.
Alright, for section 3 question, what affects a university student well-being? So, how they describe it? They said that it gave them more responsibility to feel more measured, and one person said faculty could be improved. However, 3 people said it's already been good. And what factor that have impact on them? 4% said friend and family have an impact on them. 2% said teacher is good. 2% said academic work is great, and 1% think academic work is too strict for her. And 1% think university student policy is not good. And what the positive or negative cost? So 3 people said friend, give them 100% positive. 1% think teacher, 1% think academic work. For negative, university environment for 2% is not good. For both way, 1% said family can give them pressure, give them stress, and can give them motivation and good advice in the same time. One person thinks friends can lead into the wrong way, make him feel more lazy, more unresponsible, and also give him advice and support him. And how they deal with it? 3% think that they just leave it be, let it go. And 1% think that they have to think optimistic to understand them. So, how can they change their behavior? 1% think it does not change at all. And 2% think it makes them feel more responsible and more measured. 1% think that it makes him feel that he wants to improve as a person. And what factor they want to get rid of? Debt, of course, it makes the financial situation look bad, cause stress, cause difficult in life. And university policy, 1% think it make it convenient to live too far from the city, cause the difficult transportation. 1% think video game is not good, cause waste of time, and also the university faculty is too old, not good enough. So for the next question.
Okay, so for section 4, which is about the university student environment, question 1, we were asking them to describe their household, and 3 out of 4 said that the household located in Bangkok area, and 1 out of 4 said that her household located in Auckland province. And question 2, we were asking them to describe their feeling to living with their parents or separate with their parents. And 2% said that they feel good to live with their parents. 1% said that she's indifferent about it, and 1% said that he feels sad because he don't want to separate with his parent. Question 3, we're asking them to describe their place environment, and most of them describe in the positive way, such as it's light, it's comfy, it's convenient, but it also have a negative way too, such as the distractions around the house, like the noise pollution or the undeveloped environment. And for question 4, we're asking them about how does the place environment affect their well-being in a positive way and a negative way. And from the majority of their interviewees said that for the positive effect that they got is they don't feel lonely, they feel secure, and also their clothing it can improve the quality of life. And for negative effect that they got is their distraction, such as the noise pollution and undeveloped environments around them. And for question 5, we're asking them about how far from their place to the university, how does it cause this affect their well-being or not. And for 2% that usually walk to the university, they said that it didn't cost for any transportation costs, and it also didn't affect their well-being as well. And for 2% who usually use a private car or public transportation, for the person who use a private car, he usually spend around 75 baht per trip. And for the person who usually use a public transportation, he usually spend around 80 baht per trip. And they also mentioned that it didn't affect their well-being at all. And for the last question, which is question 6, we're asking them about how do they deal with these negative factors and how does this affect their university and personal life. And interviewees said they do by looking over for negative aspect of be optimistic, focus on their positive aspect, and it also affects them that they have to adapt their behavior or their routine to appropriate for the university or the personal life, such as they have to wake up early or looking for the better tip if they have to shoot, like if they wake up late, they also have to looking for the motorcycle service. And for the next section is the section 5, which is about the university student finance. Our part is to Tamarat.
Okay, now I will present about part 5, which is actually university student finance. So the first question that we asked them is we asked them to describe their own family financial status. Two of them say that they're in middle class, and one of them say that they're in middle to upper class. And the second question that we asked them that regard to their own financial status, does it generate any effects on their well-being, both inside the university and outside the university? So they say that 2 of them say it doesn't generate any effect at all, and another 2 say that it does have some effect on them. One say that they feel pressure to do better in school because they feel like they have to get what their parents paid for, and another one say that it's just general spendings like food and clothes. And question number 3 is related to well-being. Is there any difference in between people's financial status? And does this difference have any effect on their well-being? And if so, how? So 2% say that they doesn't see any difference in people's financial status, and another 2 say that they just see something, but it doesn't affect them at all. And the next question is regarding to the last question, if there is a difference, is it positive thing or is it a negative thing? And if so, why is it positive and negative? And how do they feel about it? So 3% say that they feel neutral about it. It doesn't affect them. They don't feel anything. And 1% say that they feel like it's a negative thing because they feel like it's represent the opportunity that the lower class lack. And the last question is, according to the last question, how do they deal with it, and how does the way they deal with it affect them in both physically and mentally? So 3% doesn't deal with it because from the last question they feel neutral about it, and 1% reports saying they feel guilty about it, and they try to cope with it by trying to help those in needs by donation, by volunteering, by sending helps and stuff like that, and they just feel better about themselves. That's all. Thank you.